Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
I promise you, this is not a political podcast.
Jump from the deep end of the pool, set up the mood. Paranoi Radio, set up the mood. Paranoi Radio, set up the mood. Paranoi Radio, set up the mood. 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 Set up the mood.
We're making deposits into the bank of knowledge. Welcome back to Paranoi Radio Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am Trebles Garcia, and I might be a little rusty behind the mic, but I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today, and I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter your space. Oh, yeah, man. We are back behind the freaking mic, and it feels good. Guys, it's an amazing roller coaster. I want to remind you that the most important thing that you can do for the show today is word of mouth. Check us out at ParanoiRadio.com. Check out the affiliations, and if you're watching on YouTube, like, share, subscribe. I think the button's over here. Wait. Right here. Somewhere. You know where it's at. Hashtag look it up. Hashtag look up with a subscribe button because you guys are not subscribing fast enough. I don't know what you need me to do. I want to make this episode huge. It's going to be huge. I don't know anybody that does the episodes as good as I do. But the episode, I'm telling you, man, it's going to be the best episode in the world. That's my interpretation of Donald Trump. I fucking love me some DJT. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to give massive shout outs and recommendations to what is it called? Cryptid Warfare Operations. Make sure you check out Cryptid Warfare Operations. Drewski out there and the freaking team is making sure that they take care of you and take care of those pesky critters abducting your chickens and cows. Keep it mysterious. That's right. Make sure you check them out. And also check out Ali Christine. I don't get paid to say this, guys. Her tools allow you to keep your kids healthy and maintain them healthy and keep yourself healthy by maintaining your gut healthy, parasitic free. Out here in Paranoi Radio Podcast, we like to say that demons are parasites, or the other way around. Same thing. You understand what I'm trying to say. Also, guys, season your meat before you eat with Flavors of the Forest is the best garlic dust you've ever tasted. It's grown in the backwoods of Oregon, grazed and raised and gathered and put in a bottle by Bigfoot himself. Shout outs to Matthew and Nelson for the amazing hookups. Make sure you check out Flavors of the Forest. The link is on the description of the show. Also, guys, this is the very first episode of August. I haven't recorded freaking weeks, man. All of the episodes you've been listening have been pre-recorded almost 2 months ago, back in June. And you'll hear me say, it's guys, mental health awareness month. And you hear me say the whole spill about June in freaking August. And we're ending August already. And it's almost September. And I'm still dropping the June episodes. That should tell you how much work I did in June. Anyway, guys. Dropping 3 to 4 episodes a week. If you guys not content with that, I'm going to bump it up to 6 episodes a week. How about that, guys? How about that? Is that what you guys want? You know what? I'm so freaking upset right now at this freaking moment. First of all, right before I tell you why I'm upset, we're also bringing in a badass new segment. We left it behind in season 3. We're bringing it back in season 1. And it's called Listener of the Week. That is right. Listener of the Week is freaking back. So we're picking a random listener from Instagram that has engaged with us, and we're giving you a massive shout out. And I'm also engaging with you directly. I'm going to try to get you a freaking sticker batch, and I'm also going to dedicate this entire episode out to you. The next person I choose today, roll the freaking drums, please. Soul Squatch. This Soul Squatch team. Yo, Ryley, what are you wearing on top of your head right now? Where can people find that freaking hat, man?
Today, I'm rocking the Soul Squatch Pathfinder. It is a super clean, comfortable trucker hat with a mesh backing. Not that typical mesh that you usually get. No, this is some high-grade, breathable stuff, man. I'm a big melon fella. It's insanely hard for me to get hats, man. It's honestly, it's harder than finding Sasquatch out in the woods. But guess what? Yeah. But guess what? I found it at the Soul Squatch. Hey, guys.
We just dropped the perfect commercial for Soul Squatch. It's amazing, dude. It's amazing.
They're awesome people, man. I love Brittany, this awesome team over there. Great quality products, and everybody, go check them out.
Go check them out, guys. They are amazing. They haven't only followed with me, but they have been engaging. They also engaged with a lot of the people that have been surrounding. And guys, it wasn't a promo skit, I swear. It just happened that way. It happened to be that I opened their Instagram and it popped up. That's all it is, guys. Next up, we're going to have a listener of the week towards the end of the episodes of every single episode coming up. Guys, it's the 11th of August, so if this episode comes out a little late, I apologize. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want to remind you that the most important thing, again, to check us out at ParanorRadio.com, drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts on Spotify. That allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Let's jump in from the deep end of the pool and set the freaking mood. Please give a warm welcome to my next special guest. He's been here before. He's one of my brothers. And if anything, I enjoy doing episodes with him than the freaking random-ass person I had before. Guys, please give a warm welcome to the host of the Midwest Mythos podcast. I call him Mythos. He is Ryley. What's up, Ryley? How you doing?
What's up, Trebles? How you doing, brother?
It's good to see you, bro. Good to have you back on the show, bro.
It's good to be back, bro. It's you know, before we even get into anything, I gotta say you are probably the biggest hype man in my life right now, man. Every morning, good morning, rise and grind. Let's get it. If you ain't doing nothing, you're wasting time. So
You're wasting time. Yeah,
I appreciate it, brother. I mean, ever since you started sending me those, man, my show, I've been putting twice as much work into it.
Oh, yeah.
I've even gone up from doing one episode a week to trying to do two and a live.
Look at that, man. Look at that. 2 and alive. Whoa.
Hey,
You stepped it up a lot, bro.
I just started doing that this week, so let's see how long it lasts. But we're gonna make it work.
Congratulations on the move up, bro. That is amazing. Mad shout outs to every single other person and brother of us that has been spending time doing work, guys. It is a perfect time to become a mainstream content creator, and that's what we are, mainstream content creators, and there's nothing less than that. Make sure you check us out, and make sure you check out Midwest Mythos on Instagram and on where else are you on, bro? Let them know.
I'm on YouTube, and I'm anywhere you can find your podcast. And as we found out a few months ago, if you type in Midwest Mythos in Google, first 3 pages. I don't know why I put up 5. First 3 pages. So if you're having trouble finding me there, just type that in and you'll find it.
You remind me of Talladega Nights. He goes, put your hands down. He goes, I don't know what to do, man. He's like this. And then later he's like, and then at the second time after he starts winning, he goes, well, you know what, man? I'm the best that ever existed. I wake up in the morning and I piss greatness. No one can keep up with my stuff. He's amazing, bro. I freaking love Will Ferrell, bro, in that movie. Life-changing movie. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, Matt, shout outs again to everybody that's showing out. And if you're engaging, if you haven't already, drop a 5-star review and check us out on YouTube and like, share, and subscribe and comment. Midwest Mythos has opened doors for me because he didn't only get me to be a closer friend to Drewski, but also got me in contact with Cryptid Huntress. She took my testimony. I was on her show, thank God, and she was also on mine, and we did an amazing exclusive live on her page, and it was amazing, bro. Her energy, she's great. She knows how to talk, and I'm like, dude, it was easy conversation. She didn't make me feel awkward at all. So mad shout outs to her too. But we surrounded the conversation we spoke about, and we redirected our energies to talk about cryptids and stuff, bro. So today, after the last time you were here, you spoke about the Great Lakes, which happens to be even bigger than the Bermuda Triangle, one of the most underrated, paranormally activated areas in the freaking planet, right? Today, we're going to talk a little bit about cryptids, bro. Research, what have you found? What's next for your show?
Man, so as a now cryptid hunter and researcher, I've been digging into a whole bunch of stuff. I've been focusing mostly on the East Coast and Midwest, obviously. But, dude, I've been looking at some crazy stuff not too far away from me. And then, some stuff down south towards a bunch of our friends, because it's easy to get down there now that I have connections and friends, people, places to stay, all that kind of stuff, man. So I've also been digging into some Native American lore and some of the cryptids that tie in with that and some possible sightings and stuff that people have had. There's been a lot of Sasquatch popping up for me. We all heard about that back in May, that Monroe monster that popped up in near Detroit. I've had quite a few people send me some stuff, some friends that live out there trying to get me to go out there and research that. So I've kind of been preparing for that a little bit. And
how about we rock and roll on that and we bite on that? What the hell is the Monroe monster? Whoa. We have the topic. Yeah. I'm gonna hijack that episode from you.
Hey, do it, man. I ain't done an episode on it. It's just one of those things that comes up in passing. So as far as the original Monroe monster, there's a whole story behind it. couple people saw what looked like a monster. I honestly don't remember it too much off the top of my head. Everything kind of blurs together over in that area. It's another 60s, 70s Bigfoot sighting before, the PG film got out there and everybody knew about it was. So they was just, oh, it's this swamp-looking monster and it's attacking livestock, scaring kids, scaring people coming up on farms and stuff like that. But recently, I believe it was May 18th of this year, 2025, a father and son were out hunting near the River Raisin area in Monroe County, the city of Monroe. On a map, if you know where Detroit's at, it's about half an hour south of Detroit. So it's this big industrial area. A lot of people don't think that it's actually could inhabit a Sasquatch, but I beg to differ. So back in high school, I used to do fishing tournaments for my high school. Me and my buddy,
Word.
we
Champion, by the way. No
two-time state champion.
That's right.
And one of them was on the River Raisin in Lake Erie. So we launched out of the River Raisin, and if you got a boat or you got land on there that you can just walk, it doesn't take too long to get out of the industrial park because they got power plants, steel mills, all that stuff around there. And if you do the walleye run in the winter, you'll see all that kind of stuff. But it's not a, slow shift from nature to concrete jungle. It is a very, very hard line. I'm talking, you can go 2 streets over and you're in a swamp. You got a power plant and then a swamp. So I actually got in a fight with a dude in a comment section on for Bigfoot Society because they started the day this posted, people were tagging me in it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, man, I've been out in this area. I used to go fishing out there all the time." People were arguing, "Oh, there can't be any Sasquatch out there." I've driven that road every day for 40 years, and there's no way a Sasquatch could be out there. Well, I beg to differ. So when me and my buddy were out there fishing, he got a really, really nice bass boat, and there's a low rider too. So we were able to get underneath stuff and get into these secluded areas that most people can't get or wouldn't want to go. And once you get out there, it's nothing but tall grass. It's swamps. We saw deer. There's an abundance of fish. There was one night when we were practicing before the tournament, there was literal white bass shooting out of the water into the boat.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, dude. So there's an abundance of food, and the ecosystem's there because everybody's stuck to the power plants, homes, and all that. Not many people go out. Yeah, they got some nature trails and stuff like that, but unless you got property out there, a lot of people ain't going to be wanting to go out there and look for this stuff. So this father and son were out there hunting, walking around some railroad tracks. Common thing that tends to come up with cryptids: power lines and railroad tracks.
Oh,
So
shit.
they're out walking there, and they got their rifles and stuff, and probably just for protection because it wasn't hunting season. But so they start walking, and the dad sees something. He's like, "What's that?" And then the boy starts looking at it, he's like, "Yeah, there's something there." And then this big hairy man is just standing there, and they're like, "Oh, what's that?" And so they called in the BFRO, and Matt Moneymaker himself came out because it was such a definitive sighting in the area. He knew that the stuff was out there. So he came out and investigated, and it just kind of blew up from there because he's like, "Yeah, this is a very possible area." So, I mean, like I said earlier, I got friends and stuff that live out there. We would go out, they went to college out there, so I would drive from the other side of the state, and it's a little farm town. There ain't nothing to do. So what do? You get a case of beer. You have one person that doesn't drink. You get in the truck and you go shining for deer or possum stomping. And I mean, when you're out there, it's pitch dark. Ain't nobody out there. Houses are quarter mile, half a mile apart, and all it is cornfields, pastures, and forest. To me, that sounds like prime Squatch territory, don't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So I
Perfect
mean,
ecosystem, perfect blending, perfect camouflage, perfect food sources, right? Yeah, I hear you.
and it butts up real close to Ohio. You could walk to Ohio from pretty much this area. Take you a couple hours, but you could watch Ohio. Well, Squatch, there's perfect territory, and we all know how big of a hot spot Ohio is.
Definitely.
Northwest Ohio, Southern Ohio, you get to Hocking Hills, all that stuff. Basically, the only place there's some Bigfoot in Ohio is Akron, Cincinnati, all the big cities. Everywhere else, there's Sasquatch sightings all over the place. So it doesn't blow it out, blow it out the way for me that, hey, during the summer and winter, spring, like all animals, the migratory. Because in Michigan, Sasquatch, they move, depending on what season it is. So towards, your fall and spring, they're going to be in the lower parts of the state. But then when it gets to the wintertime, sorry, I might have that mixed up. During the summertime, they move up. And then during the winter, they come back down. So stay warm, all that kind of stuff. And there's all kinds of natural pathways for them to go without, getting spotted by people. Because once
I do. Go ahead.
Go ahead. It's fine.
I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
So you mentioned migrating. These animals behave like herd animals, like deer, ducks?
I believe that depending on the area that you're in, yes. So like with the Midwest, and I would even say Southwest of the country, like Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, that kind of stuff. I think they do have to follow the crops. They have to follow the migratory patterns of all their prey and stuff like that are also going to be moving. It's not like you get out to the Pacific Northwest, California, and stuff like that, where 95% of the time the season's pretty much the same. You got hot and you got wet. You don't have scorching hot, Arctic blast, that kind of stuff.
Word.
So a lot of researchers and stuff have been using Michigan as an example of that, because during the summer months and stuff, you get all these sightings up in the UP, northern Michigan, towards like the Manistee Forest, all that kind of stuff, like we brought up last time. And then spring and fall is like where I'm from. You'll get all your sightings, stuff like that. Not saying you can't get sightings the rest of the months, because there are there, but the big clusters tend to follow the seasons.
That's insane. If correct me if I'm wrong. I'm on the next part of your rant. I'm gonna go on Google and search, did the natives also migrate, or at least travel because of the seasons? And if you correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen, if I'm wrong, hashtag look it up. I think they did. I think Native Americans also traveled in different areas to different areas pertaining to the seasons, because they would turn over their soil and they needed to grow their own crops and also find different type of deer, different type of meat, and follow the solstices, basically. In the summer solstice, that would trigger you to move north, etc., etc. So if human beings are doing it, and if animals are doing it, there's no reason why these other creatures shouldn't, right?
Exactly. And I would agree with that 110%, because I still am yet to talk to some of the tribes and stuff around the area. But if you look at all the other tribes across the nation, I'm not going to say all, I'm not going to put everybody in one category, but a majority of the tribes were nomadic, and a lot of the tribes have history working with the hairy man, the Sasquatch, whatever their tribal tongue is for them. So in a lot of the Native American lores, especially out towards your area and north of your area, they would actually, they had traditions and ceremonies where they would send young out, like young ones trying to become men and stuff like that, out into the field, do their rituals, sing their songs, do their stuff in order to draw.
Hunt for a head.
Well, either that or draw the Sasquatch in, so the Sasquatch could fill them with generational knowledge on how to hunt, how to survive.
Get the fuck out, dude. What?
Yeah. Yeah. That's my reaction when I first heard about that.
You know what? So you brought this. It's beautiful how this is just flowing. So my youngest daughter, her name is Salem Cheyenne Garcia. Middle name Cheyenne. So if you guys look up Cheyenne, like the Cheyenne Mountains, like the Native Americans, the name means people with different language, the red speakers, which would mean the alien speakers. They use their name represented the tongue that they would use to speak to these entities, aliens or other spiritual beings. And I'm going like this because we don't know if they're interdimensional, like even spiritual or plasmic would be, considered interdimensional. So the reason I brought that in was because it connects to exactly what you're saying. If they practice some type of coming of a man after a sweat lodge ceremony, go into the wild, contact your ancestors and or entities and speak to them and gather all this information. I mean, it makes perfect sense.
Right. Imagine being on some peyote or something like that, going out there and talking to one of these things, man. It's insane. But it happens, and we see that in not even just Native American culture. We see that with all kinds of cultures across the entire world with entities besides Sasquatch. You know, the stuff like the Anunnaki, having to bring in Mesopotamia, have to bring do all that kind of stuff. In Europe, talking to like you got
the Spartans in ancient Greece used to do it. If you guys watched the movie 300, what happened to Leonidas as a child? Right? He gets thrown into the freaking to the cold after his forthcoming of a man in his adolescence at the age of 12, gets pushed out into the wild, and he needs to bring back the head of the wild wolf, huge freaking gray wolf that he caught in the freaking snow, and he brings his head back and he wears his coat like a freaking king. I mean, sheesh.
Yeah, man.
No pressure.
So this is not an uncommon thing, and I mean, we could go down a whole different rabbit hole, and we could save it for another time with, all right, let's say these Sasquatch are actually descendants of Nephilim and stuff like that. All right, so they have some kind of spiritual resonance in them, some type of spiritual quote-unquote power, so they can give and do all this kind of stuff. So if basically they're just doing rituals for them to possibly summon them, maybe get possessed by them, all this kind of strength kind of deal, you know what I'm talking about?
Forthcoming. That's the name of this episode, Forthcoming. And I'm not dropping this episode in a month. I'm dropping this episode this freaking Wednesday because I like it and I feel it. And it's just what it is, man. See, thank you again, Ryley. It was meant to be, Don. You know, God works in mysterious ways.
Yes, he does, man. And everything lined up perfect. Kid ain't home, wife ain't home. Tonight was just bust out podcast work, and he made it fun. So instead of sitting here editing, get to have a fun conversation.
Have a nice chat.
Yeah.
Having talking about slightly, you pivoted. I'm a pivot. I'm gonna utilize that to catapult me into a conversation about the rituals that we would do to forthcome some type of change. So you mentioned how Native Americans would smoke some peyote. Like, this is hypothetically speaking. This is not what they did, guys. We're not saying this is what they did. We're just speaking fast here. We're just, trying to get to the point. So I found out that, and I haven't done this presentation on no one else's show, and I was thinking of doing it on Cult of Conspiracies on the 21st, but I'm going to drop it today here. All right, bro. So if you give me 15 minutes, we're going to rock this freaking house.
Let's hear it.
So I ended up finding out that everything that we do, specifically what we tend to call manners, are rituals. On a daily basis, in and out, we practice things that are rituals. So God mentions, correct me if I'm wrong, 4 times in the Bible, correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen, do not practice magic. And he said it many of times. It's because magic does exist. It's one of the biggest rules in the Bible. Do not practice magic. Why? Because there's no such thing as black magic or white magic. Magic just exists. And we start provoking, professing, protecting, and listening to Paranoi Radio podcast, all the freaking 4 P's of the Bible, when we speak. So every single time we spellcast with our tongues, every single time we profess something with our words, it's professing, and it's also condemning, or it's accusing, or it's creating, or it's energy. Energy, from thought patterns to verbal frequencies. This is why Bible speaks. You have to talk in a positive manner. This is why scientists say when you talk to flowers and plants, you need to talk to them in a positive manner. When you talk about yourself, always you always talk about it in a positive manner. This is why I would say that Midwest Mythos and Paranoi Radio podcasts are the best podcasts in the freaking planet. All the freaking time. We always talk about things in a positive manner. So then it turned out, and this is what I just found out. And I went in on a 2-day deep dive on this, and I matched it to liquid crystal technology, but we're not going to touch that part of the presentation. Top examples of offerings and ritual gestures. Sorry. You correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I have a thick accent. I'm a freaking beaner. Hold on tight. All right. What matters is that you understand. Knocking on the door, Surface basic politeness before entering. Esoteric origin symbolizes requesting access to another realm. In Freemasonry, the ancient temples, you knock and declare your intent to form a magical consent. So 3 knocks symbolically represents the Trinity: mind, body, spirit, past, present, future, solid, liquid, gas, width, length, and height, which is our 3 dimensions right there within the dimensions we live in. And then saying hello, good morning, is another one. I'm not going to give you all the listings. I'm going to brief through them because it's just a mini presentation. Washing hands and showering even is a ritual. And how? Let me tell you something. Some of the priests before sacrifices, and even witches before spell casting would know about cleansing tools, cleansing yourself, cleansing bodies, so that nothing is infected. Still to this day, doctors cleanse what? They have a clean needle before they jab you. Why? Because they don't want to infect your body. So it breaks down into a science. But what's magic? The science of things. That's all it is. You're breaking down elements to create something different. The changing of something. Esoteric, what's mysticism, all that stuff. Lighting a candle, we all know lighting a candle is a thing. A lot of people do it right now during Halloween. Saying bless you. I'm not going to give you all the details. I'm just giving you some brief examples. Opening curtains in the morning when you open up and you see the sunlight come in. I do it all the time. I don't do it because of a ritual. I do it because I don't want to spend electricity. I'm going to have the AC on all day in the middle of the summer, so I just want air. I want the sunlight from the air to come in. I want my babies to know that it's day outside. I want to get some vitamin D. But people don't forget that this is also an Egyptian and a Druid ritual. That sun is that when the sun enters your house is a daily renewal site. So you're renewing your entire body, your temple, and your household. So it's also a ritual. Then bowing your head slightly. For example, if I know you and I see you in the street, what's up, Ryley? I go up, right? And I show you my neck. I'm giving you a ritual of like, hey, I know I'm vulnerable to you because you're my boy, so I'm going to respect that. If I go like this to you and I nod down to you, I don't feel so safe, but I'm still nodding to you for respect. I'm allowing you to pass or giving you passage, or et cetera, et cetera. So it's different rituals, different manners, different gestures. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm saying that word incorrectly. I'm sorry, guys. Then touching the hand of your heart when I tell you, hey, I love you, kind of like what Elon Musk did. He goes like this and he sent it out, right? I'm not saluting Hitler, guys. I'm just showing you a gesture, right? Writing your name. Writing your name is sacred. Writing your name, the right place, the right way to write your name, meant to be in cursive, not broken letters. Coincidentally, what's something that the United States education system took out of the out of the school system? Cursive. You can, right? They don't teach you how to write cursive anymore. You know what's also in cursive? The Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the amendments, all of that, right? It's funny. Mm-hmm. So I'm just giving you brief little thoughts, and these are tiny ones, but it's a hidden thread. So in etymology, the word manners comes from an old French word that represents manière. French comes from Latin. That's why I'm Latin American, because I speak Spanish, which is also a branch of the Latin mother language, meaning the way of doing, style, method of conduct. That came from the Latin word mannerus, means hand, all right? And the root word, which is manus. And in Spanish, how do you say hand? Manos. So it's the same thing. You can see the relationship there. Now, what does this mean? In its core, manners originally meant the way you move your hands in relation to others. Literal hand gestures later expanded to behavior style. Back in the early medieval courts and temples, they were the way that you represented hands, often hidden, extended, folded, told who you were in society. If you were a threat, submissive, respectful, offering peace, or if you were a warrior. So depending on how you would move your hands when you spoke, it would tell you what type of tier of person you were in society, the status of where your ancestors come from, not just your name. For example, blacksmith, you would move your hands in a different way. I didn't even know that. I was like, what? You're telling me historical things. It's freaking crazy. Then you have a spiritual layer on it, right? Bowing your head, opening your palm, covering your mouth, etc., and etc. I'm not going to give you all of that. But there's also secret truths. Secret magic that has been domesticated. Magic, listen to what I just said, though. Magic that has been domesticated, which means accepted, that you've made it into a pet, made it part of your family. What's a dog that's domesticated? You could domesticate a wolf and it becomes your brother, your closest ally, right? He hunts for you. He helps you. He becomes your best friend. So what does domesticated magic mean? You only put it into perspective, right? It's crazy. Then you say, excuse me, you see how all these stuff, different type of gestures. I'm not going to give you all of that, but I will give you this. Knocking on the door 3 times and see what I... Okay, so in many different occult roots, knocking on the door is satanic. All right, this comes more examples. I'm sorry if I'm running through this place real quick. Spilling salt over your right shoulder. Have you ever seen that happen before?
I
Something
cannot
bad
say I
happens
have.
and you want to break the juju, you want to break bad karma. You grab salt and you throw over the black shoulder. A good example of that would be the movie Dumb and Dumber, the original one, where he's in the thing and they're like, oh shoot, and he throws the salt behind his back and then it hits the trucker dude and he comes and beat him up. So if you guys remember that part, that's one of a perfect example of what that gesture means. Okay. The other one is stirring food in widdershins. Stirring food. Bro, stirring food clockwise, counterclockwise is a specific spell casting ritual that not only witches did, but the ancient Sumerians did with all of their food, depending what type of food and how thickness it was, so it could have a flavor. So put it to you like this. If you dice onions versus slicing onions, it'll give the food a different flavor. Same thing with the stirring. If you stir the food in a different manner, in a different way, it'll give the food different flavor. The science to it, bro. I didn't even know that, bro. I was like, what the? Shut the hell up, dude. It's a trip. It's a trip. Stirring food, I'm not going to give you all the details. I'm just giving you guys a quick little example. And I'm also practicing how I'm going to present it on Colt, right? Using a U-turn, left hand, upon entering a portal. What's the puerta? The door? The door in Spanish is called puerta. What did I just call it? A portal. Original Latin word is portal, puerta. Damn, if you guys look at it, you're like, oh, snap. There is some occult meaning there. Back in the root words of Latin. Knocking on the table before somebody speaks, or you want to knock on wood for good luck, etc. and etc. You've seen that many times in knock on wood. Even crossing your fingers is a gesture like, oh, good luck. And then that causes something that gives also, it's a Puritan type of thing. It's a very Protestant and very Christian and very ancient way of thinking. The ancient Sumerians did it and the Egyptians did it too. And they went like this for good luck and many other different spell castings. So crossing thresholds. Let's keep going. You have covering a mirror after people die. Throwing coins into the water for good luck. Have you ever done that before?
Yeah, a few times.
Okay. Drawing an X over something. Now check this out. Drawing an X over something is very, very trippy because what is one game that we do X and O's with? That we play X's and O's with?
Tic-tac-toe, man.
Tic-tac-toe. Do you know what the shape of tic-tac-toe means? That little sign? It's the sign of Saturn. The planet of
What?
Saturn. Look it up.
Man.
Bro,
Hashtag look it up, man.
So the modern habit of marking an X over a picture, note, or something when it's done, ejected, occult root means it's in folk magic, crossing out with an X was banishing sigil and simplified cross to bind, block, or curse the target. In voodoo and hoodoo and European witchcraft, they could cut spiritual ties. Tic-tac-toe is an ancient sigil magic game. Shut the front door. Knocking your shoes. Have you ever seen what's her name? The Wizard of Oz, how she knocks her shoes and she goes, ta, ta. Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know? Burning hair and nail clippings, magic, and much more. Yeah, man. So that's just a quick little introduction because you brought that in, Mr. Ryley.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you blew my mind. And I do got to bring up one thing, man. Because you brought up cursive, man, and how they're getting rid of it. I was the last generation, at least in my area where I'm from, to learn cursive.
How old are you, bro?
25.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it was about
Wow.
15 years ago they started teaching me cursive, and then they only taught us it for 2 years. Then after that, we didn't have to use it anymore.
Calligraphy is an important thing, bro. Calligraphy is important.
It is. See, I got the special exception because I was special in school. My handwriting was so bad that they made me use print. But I still remember the cursive. But yeah, like I have 3 younger siblings, and none of them know how to write in cursive. They don't know how to read cursive or anything. So
Wow.
it's wild. And my
So
sister's
just
only
confirmed.
2 years younger than me.
And
So
she didn't learn it.
nope.
Wow. Very
It's
interesting.
they are trying to dumb. They are trying to dumb the children, man.
Well, yeah, dude, think about what I'm saying. Like yeah, I don't want to get political or anything, but if you look at how the situation is going, kids don't care. People don't care. People don't grow up caring, bro. I come from an era. I'm 34, so I come from an era where at the age of 14, bro, I wasn't in no club or boys and girls club. Even if I was looking out for honeys. I wasn't out there. I wasn't out there on my phone. I was out there playing football, playing dodgeball, on the bikes, riding a skateboard, looking for girls, trying to be cool, falling and scraping myself because scars were awesome. And the more you bled, the more of a man you were, etc. Get into a fight. Like that's what it was. And especially here in the concrete jungle in LA, where you're like, if you have to prove yourself, if you're down or not, if you're with it, the taller, the higher your socks, the more down of a man you are, etc. So different cultures, different states, different areas. But yeah, man, it's my kids, my daughters will never understand how beautiful it was to go outside and wait for the ice cream truck to pass by, get an ice cream truck and eat it with your friends and just talk about the next thing or play Pokemon cards outside until the sun beats your back and you're just playing with each other, playing Pox and, spending off digital era stuff. I come from an area where the CDs from freaking AOL would show up at your door and you would put it into your computer and then it'll give you 30 minutes of AOL and it was all dial up and it'll go on to get on your freaking internet. Then if somebody picked up the freaking landline in the next room, your whole disconnection, the whole thing would just disconnect. So I understand what you're saying, bro. The times change so freaking fast, and they have dumbed us down a lot, man.
Oh yeah, it's bad, man.
Yeah.
I remember riding my bikes with my friends. Now, we did have video games. I would be lying if we said we didn't play video games. I still do every once in a while. But
same here.
But it was like, all right, we go outside, we ride our bikes, we play in the woods, paintball, all that kind of stuff until it got dark. And then when we got inside, that's when we play video games and stuff like that, man. Like, it's sad. So if y'all listening right now and you got young kids, snatch their tronics and tell them to go play outside.
Word.
Go get some vitamin D. Go get a cut, get a scar or something,
Go
like
get
you
a
said.
scar. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check out Mythos. Ryley, I want to thank you again for coming in on such a short notice, giving out all your information, also bringing all that beautiful energy, for allowing me to give you my piece. I'm telling you, the show did very well, and this episode's going to come out this week. I'm not going to wait up on it. Everybody, make sure, again, I'll give you the opportunity to let the people know where they can find you.
All right, y'all can find me anywhere. You can type in Midwest Mythos. I'm on all podcast platforms, not on YouTube. You can check me out, Midwest Mythos Podcast. That's where I do all the video format of all my episodes, and every once in a while you might get a little extra something on the YouTube. So go check out the YouTube. Go check out everything. And then while you're checking all that stuff out, make sure you give my boy Trebles a nice big follow on everything.
Thank you.
5-star review. A like, a little comment on there. It helps so much, y'all. Like, one like can make the difference between your video being seen by 1,000 people.
You'll never know.
One
like is all it takes. Yes.
And thank you for having me here tonight, man.
Bro, you're my bro, dog. Thank you. You saved it tonight. You really, how do you say this? You've Hail Married it, because I needed to add something to my. I have content left, but I only have 2 weeks worth of it, so I needed to add something to it. So I was like, no, I have to record. It's just an agenda. But you made it fun, bro, and you've made me realize the importance of keeping it simple, stupid, not trying so hard to have big names, and just have a freaking blast with one of my boys. That's what that really matters. Make sure you check them out, ladies and gentlemen. Drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. That allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Peace.